Well. Oleksandr Usyk defeats Tyson Fury and becomes the undisputed, unified heavyweight champion of the world. Oleksandr Usyk is the pound-for-pound number one fighter on earth. If boxing does not have him as the number one pound-for-pound fighter on earth, whenever they make the changes to those rankings, there's a problem with boxing. And I'm just going to say well one more time because I did predict Oleksandr Usyk by split decision. I've been saying it during the build-up. I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying, but dude, a week ago you were saying Oleksandr Usyk by round 9 KO. I've seen a few people saying that. I switched it to split decision. I would rather stay on the idea that I was going to pick Oleksandr Usyk by round 9 KO because it should have been a KO win in round 9 and I'd look like even more of a genius. But no, I changed it to split decision. Oleksandr Usyk is amazing. People aren't talking about the fact that this guy is not a heavyweight. That doesn't get spoken about enough. He is not a heavyweight. Maybe he would be a heavyweight of old. 6'3", huge dude relative to a regular human being. But today's day and age, the heavyweights, you're over 6'4" if you're a top ranked heavyweight in boxing right now. You're probably 6'6", 6'7", 6'5", something along those lines. Oleksandr Usyk, it's not even that he's short. He's not made to carry weight. And you can see that on him as well. He can't develop a really strong core while trying to be at the weight that he's at when he fights a guy like Tyson Fury. He's not got really broad shoulders. You know what I mean? He's not really built to be a heavyweight regardless of height. You know what I mean? He's not built like Derek Chisora out there or Dillian White or anything like that. He's built to be a much smaller guy, which is where he has had success previously in his career as well. And he goes out there and does it against Tyson Fury. Should have got a TKO in round 9, I believe it was. But Fury was kept up by the ropes at one point, so they decided to step in. I'll be honest with you, he was kept up by the ropes long before they decided to step in and say he was kept up by the ropes. Like, let's be real, Usyk was hitting him and he was veering into the ropes over and over again. They kept him up longer than just the moment that they said that they kept him up with it. But in that moment, I think they said he was kept up by the ropes. We had to step in because that way they knew they could step in, not stop the fight, have it go to the end of the round. The bell rings. Tyson Fury saved by the bell. They get an extra bit of action because I'll tell you this right now, along with the judges' scorecard, the commentary were just refusing to believe that Usyk could possibly be winning rounds. And I was like, that round could go to Usyk. Oh, round 3, that went to Usyk very clearly. I was like counting rounds in my head. Like, Fury was winning rounds early on, and he did win the majority of the rounds leading up to round 8, I believe it was, where I think Usyk got a round even if he didn't drop Fury or something along those lines. He was winning the majority of the rounds for the first portion of this fight. But there were still rounds that he was losing. And the commentary was saying, like, Fury cruising away here, Usyk really needs to get something going. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on a second. If he edges out a few rounds here and there, he could still get this one done. So eventually he gets it done anyway. Hurts Fury in the 9th round. Fair play to Fury. I have no idea how he took the subsequent shots. It honestly felt like Usyk didn't want to KO him. I'll be honest with you. I know that might sound crazy as well because I'm chucking out a bunch of allegations. He was holding back when he saw Fury all over the place. He really was. Like, he was like, I could put you out, but let's make it pretty. You know what I mean? Let's make it clean. Let's not have you go face first, it almost felt like. Because he was swinging at Fury, but there were some times when he was standing there, like, hesitating on a right hand, thinking, is the ref going to jump in here and stop this fight? Because, again, if he didn't get held up by the ropes, and technically the referee couldn't step in, that's a stoppage. At any moment while they were standing, wobbling around, the referee could have just stepped in and gone, we're done. You're done. You are completely out of it on your feet. You cannot defend yourself. You're walking around like Dr. Eggman with your hands down by your waist, jolting around all over the place while Usyk's teeing off on him. Insane. Insane fight. Wasn't too exciting. There was just like, I always feel that way about boxing. You go like 10 minutes of a fight and then, a moment. And then it's like, okay, back to Another 6 minutes of this. A moment happened. Okay. Another 15 minutes goes by. A moment. The fight's over. All right, well, who's winning a split decision this time? You know what I'm saying? That's how it feels sometimes when you're watching boxing. But Oleksandr Usyk gets it done. And I'll read a tweet to you right now about this as well, because it actually annoys me how he doesn't get enough credit. Really annoys me how he doesn't get enough credit. I'll find it somewhere. I've been tweeting quite a bit so far tonight. The UFC was on as well. Insane. Insane performance. And I'll read you this right now. He's greatness. Undisputed and undefeated at cruiserweight. Okay? Undisputed. Every belt. Undefeated. Clean sweep at cruiserweight. Fighting great names at cruiserweight as well to get those belts and get those accomplishments. Moves up to heavyweight as a smaller guy. A much smaller guy, might I say. Undisputed at heavyweight. Undefeated at heavyweight. He's beaten AJ twice, Fury as well. You can't say he's been handed belts, make-believe belts. He didn't really unify them. He didn't beat the who's who. He's beat the guys that beat the guys. Undisputed at heavyweight now. Still undefeated. Think about the amateur career that he had as well. The guy's got 2 wins over Bertabiev at amateur. The amount of amateur wins that he has is insane. He even beat like Joe Joyce, a heavyweight at amateur as well. It's insane the kind of things this guy's putting together in the boxing world. And the only person who's ever done that before is Evander Holyfield. That's the only guy who's ever done that before. Undefeated at cruiserweight, unified, and then moving up. Undisputed, undefeated, unified at heavyweight as well. He's the only guy that's done it before, and he didn't do it in the 4-belt era. So it's even crazier of Oleksandr Usyk to manage to pull this off. And his country's at war right now. Even crazier that he's managing to pull this stuff off. He's not got the comfort of a home gym that I've been at all my life. Everything regular to me. Like, this guy's probably dodging bombs in the middle of his workouts. You know what I'm saying? Insane performance from Oleksandr Usyk. Wicked win. I'm seeing Tyson Fury say some things like they only gave it to him because he was from Ukraine. Nonsense, honestly. If I had to score this fight, I can't even remember how I had it. I actually had Fury win in the first round. I thought Usyk could have got the second. I gave him the third. Then maybe Fury started to pull ahead a little bit, but there were some very close ones, like round 4 was extremely close. There was just a lot of swing rounds, and I was thinking to myself, okay, Fury has more guaranteed rounds. But Usyk, I think, is landing the better shots in these swing rounds. Although Fury is flicking out his jab and landing a shot that somewhat hits and somewhat bounces off the glove of Usyk, whose defense was really good, especially for the body shots tonight as well. He got hit with some of them, but a lot of them he was catching on his elbows. I thought in the swing rounds, Usyk was landing the more effective shots. And then you got round 8 and then 9. He has a huge moment, wobbles Fury, really badly hurts him. And then round 10 and 11, he starts to do more of the same. Round 12, you can argue he landed the better shots as well, even though Fury was staying busy in that round 2. I mean, even Fury in round 6 had a moment where he looked like he wobbled Usyk with an uppercut. Like, Fury had his moments. And I want to say that as well at the end of this. As good as Usyk is, as much as I told you also, even though a lot of people were picking Usyk, I get it. I'm not going to take too much glory for that, but I said split decision. I'm taking that for sure. Fury looked great. He looked good. He looked light on his feet early, popping the jab out there, a lot of feints. He looked like Tyson Fury. And that's telling, because this is not the guy that fought Francis Ngannou. I have no idea what happened in that Francis Ngannou fight. A lot of people can say it's different when Ngannou's in front of you. Is it, AJ? You know what I mean? I know people are massively bigging up Ngannou. I see people everywhere putting gifs of AJ and Ngannou and even Dubois in like comment sections. Like, cope harder. What is going on with you guys right now? You know what I mean? It's such levels of cope. What does AJ be in? I'm seeing gifs of AJ like drumming his gloves together in like the comment sections of people posting about Usyk's win. Like, AJ's got 2 wins over Usyk. He's lost to him twice. So I'm just confused by it. But Tyson Fury looked good. He looked crisp. I have no idea what he was doing against Francis Ngannou. He looked nothing like that against Francis Ngannou. Injured, completely out of shape, didn't even train. Whatever reason you want to come up with, I have no idea how he looked like that against Ngannou. The no jabs, no nothing, no popping, no feinting, no finding any slick angles or shots. And against Usyk, he was feinting, jolting, footwork, nice, tidy, crisp, on the back foot, flicking his jab out there. There was just none of that against Ngannou, which is pretty crazy. But great performance by Oleksandr Usyk. Got to be pound for pound in boxing, I would imagine. I know there's other names as well, but you got to consider what those other names are up against to get their pound for pound status. A lot of these other names in boxing, other than maybe Canelo, but you look at like Terence Crawford and you look at even Naoya Inoue, he's moving up in weight, Naoya Inoue, but he's fighting a lot of smaller opponents, so there's a little bit of a pinch of salt with a lot of his wins. I think that's the general argument whenever there's a smaller fighter. Terence Crawford has some big wins as well. He's now risking it against Canelo. Like, there's big fights coming up, so maybe the winner of that will then take the top spot off Usyk again. I'm not saying this cements Usyk as the number one dog forever, no matter what anyone else does, but I think we should have some juggling of the boxing pound for pound list, where Usyk has it this week, and a couple of weeks from now, we'll see who wins Canelo versus Crawford. They take it. Oh, Inoue got a huge win, or 2 huge wins in a row. Let him have the top spot, you know what I mean? We need to have a bit more of a shuffle. And I think right now Usyk deserves it, because again, he's outweighed by 30, 40 pounds against some of these heavyweights. And like, I know Fury's is a lot of fat, but it's a lot of weight that's a problem to deal with. And he weren't even able to clinch up with Usyk or use that weight on him. And you look at AJ. AJ's however many pounds of muscle heavier than Oleksandr Usyk. And Usyk's still out there taking everything he's got, eating all of his good shots. You know, people talk about Usyk's weak to the body. Finish him to the body then. You know, or hit him above the belt. A lot of people are doing that now. I noticed it because Fury hit Usyk a few times below the belt. And I just know social media was like, oh, here we go again. You're not allowed to hit below the belt. Stop hitting Usyk below the belt or on the belt. You're not allowed to. So stop doing it. You know what I mean? You can complain all you want, but all of you got your shorts up by your belly button. You're not allowed to hit below the belt, and you're all doing it. So stop. I know people are saying, well, if he hangs low, his dick isn't really there if you use X-ray vision through the shorts. And a lot of people are saying that's what a lot of people are saying, but you're not allowed to hit below the belt, regardless of where it is. And that's what they were doing on him. But yeah, whatever point I had, dude, the way Usyk's dealing, I can't believe what Usyk's pulling off. These guys are monsters. You know? I'm Usyk size. And I don't know how he's doing it, even if I was the best boxer in the world. I'm looking at a 6'7" Tyson Fury with all that weight over me. Or I'm looking at AJ, who's equally been training hard and equally went to the Olympics. I know he doesn't have as much of an amateur career at all. But still, like, this guy's going up against monsters and he's slaying them every time. And so far, Chisora's given him the toughest fight, which is weird. But it was his, like, adjustment fight to heavyweight, so I understood it. Either way, craziness, Oleksandr Usyk, pound for pound number one. I predicted him to win as well. I guess they're going to do the rematch. Tyson Fury said Happy New Year in the mic. Definitely concussed after that fight. Usyk did great. Jabs, right hands, the left hook was there for him as well. He started faking a left overhand and then just throwing a tight right hook on a step through. That caught Tyson a few times as well. His body shots were money. I think that really did slow down Tyson Fury. As much as people say he can't feel body shots, you definitely get your breathing interrupted no matter how much fat you have there, especially if it's right in the breadbasket, which is where Usyk was landing a lot of the body shots. I think that really slowed down Fury. And you can see Usyk really started to build momentum into the fight. I think the reason AJ had more success against Usyk is because he has more power than Fury. So what AJ could do in certain rounds is like sting Usyk with something massive and remind him that he's a former middleweight, cruiserweight, moving up to heavyweight, you know? And then Usyk could sort of like take off the rest of the round. I've been hit with some really big shots. I can't get my momentum going. Okay, I'll try next round and see if I can pick up from there. And that's sort of what the game was. Will Usyk get off shots first before AJ gets off his? And typically he did, because he started to pick up the volume in the later rounds and get punches off to the head. And AJ's not got as good of a chin as Fury. I know you could say that's not true because AJ took better shots than Fury did, but no, or you could say AJ took shots better than Fury did. But I think Fury took better shots than AJ did. AJ took shots better than Fury did, but Fury took better shots than AJ did. That's what I would say. But yeah, you could just see Fury couldn't really get the respect from Usyk when he needed it. You know what I mean? Which other fighters can do. He could sting him at range. He could catch him with a shot that would wobble him for a second or get respect for a second, or a body shot that would make him have a couple breathers and reset and recalibrate things. But what he couldn't do, which was the big story of the fight, is once Usyk got going, he couldn't land something that would stop him in his tracks. So, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I picked Usyk. He won by split decision. Yeah. It's good stuff. I'm a big fan of Usyk. A lot of people are like, why are you going with Usyk? You're from the UK. I just think Fury's a bit of a cunt sometimes. I think he's a bit of a hypocrite, bit of a cunt. I like Fury, though. I do root for him. But it's Usyk. How can you not root for him? And I think what a lot of Americans don't understand about Usyk is the UK loves Usyk. Like, if this was in the UK, they would be going crazy for Usyk. Was it in the UK? No, it was in Saudi Arabia, right? God, they ruin everything with their boring crowds. Was it in Saudi? I don't even know where this fight was. But, I don't know. I feel like people underestimate how much people in the UK love Oleksandr Usyk. And all I'm going to say is this. I'm going to end the video with this as well. This is perfect, actually. I've been waiting to say this for years. But now it can be said. And all Usyk fans around the world can say it. He's done what he needed to do. We just need to win that rematch and have him retire undefeated on top. I am very feel. Goodbye.